Women are more sensitive than men, and that's what's ruining your relationship. Is being sensitive ruining your relationship? And are women more sensitive than men? Hi ladies, today I want to address this issue, men versus women. Are we really more sensitive? So I'm going to start with the first part talking about what it means being a sensitive person, and are women really genetically inclined to being more sensitive? The second part, I'm going to talk about how it's affecting, maybe even ruining your relationship. So without me rambling on, let's talk about it. Do you cry easily? Do you get offended often? Do you feel like you wish you had a thicker skin? These are all phrases I've heard from my patients, especially women. We feel that we are more sensitive. In our culture, it's not often a compliment to hear the sentence, you are too sensitive or you're sensitive. It's actually the other way around. We are usually being told it's better to be strong. But before we talk about our culture, I want to start with the psychological term HSP. Highly sensitive person. And it's actually a term, it's not a disorder, but there are about 15 to 20% of people around the world that are more physically and emotionally sensitive relatively to others. So you're probably thinking, okay, so me as a woman, I'm HSP. Well, not so sure. It's actually, according to studies, dispersed between men and women, all genders, equally. So what does it mean? How is it that women do tend to cry easily? And how is it that women are more affectionate and more sensitive and more in tune with what they're feeling, and even their empathy is higher? They know what others feel. Why is that? So there have been many studies in the subject comparing women and men in different versions of referring to emotions, and I haven't found anything that is very conclusive regarding men are less sensitive than women. Again, HSP is a trait which, as I said, is equally dispersed. So what are studies saying? I found one study actually that says men do have less confidence in their own emotional intelligence, including their own ability to perceive emotions on face, than do women. So this raises the question with what we started with. Maybe it's a cultural thing. Maybe we are being raised as women knowing that emotions are a big part of us. We're supposed to cater to everyone around us, and to do that well and to be a good wife or a good daughter or a good woman, you need to know what people feel and you to be in touch with your emotions. On the other hand, we get a lot of bad rep about it. Women cry at work. Women don't say anything around her because she's going to start crying. So what is that? Why are men not feeling the way we are? It's actually even the men's tragedy. Since they're kids, they're being told, oh, don't cry, don't be a girl, don't express your emotions. And women, we are brought with the notion that it's okay and it's normal. And I think emotions are part of all of us. Men and women do experience it. Men probably have less confidence in their ability to identify and feel and acknowledge what they're feeling. And because of that, because you as a woman are brought up in a way that you know it's okay to be in touch with your emotions, that when you get stressed, you're being yelled at work, you had a bad confrontation, you just feel discouraged, then you cry. But the more you fight with it, then it actually magnifies, and then you feel bad. And it doesn't matter what's the reason. Men, women, what I get a lot from many women is, I don't want to feel this way. I feel like being so sensitive hurts me. Well, the first thing, you're very sensitive and aware of your partner's feelings, probably your environment's feelings. You know when someone is sad, when someone is hungry, when someone needs something, which makes you an amazing partner, which makes you a great friend and a great person to be around. But do you absorb their feelings as yours? Do you completely identify with what's going on with them? I can imagine it's very difficult on you, on the relationship, especially if your partner is moody, anxious, difficult to handle, and how much it burdens the situation if you're feeling the same way. As a very conscious person, you tend to think everyone thinks like you, cares like you, aware of others and others' emotions the way you are. This can lead to high expectations of your partner's ability to be attentive and aware of your needs and desires. And what happens when they don't follow? What happens when they don't recognize, according to your expectations, what you feel? You know what they're feeling just by noticing them. You know when something is wrong, something is going on with them, and they don't reciprocate to you. Do you get discouraged by that? Do you get angry? But you need to remember they're not as conscious as you. They're not as sensitive probably as you, or as we said before, maybe not connected to that sensitivity. Because you're so easily in picking up what your partner needs on their smallest cues, you're very attentive and you answer to whatever they need. But as a consequence, you probably forget sometimes to attend to your needs. And in the long term, and we see it with people everywhere, especially I see it with women in my clinic, when you ignore what you really need, even if you're okay with that, in the long term, you're going to get resentful and you're going to get mad about it. So being extra sensitive is amazing, but you have to be, and I'm going to talk about it in a moment, extra sensitive to yourself as well. The next effect that it has is that you're, again, so observant, attentive, sensitive, that you see the smallest flaws and sometimes they become big. Do you exaggerate everything? Are you critical, nitpicking on the smallest thing, which can lead to a judgmental behavior on your part? And this can ruin and hurt a relationship when your significant other feels like they're always in a test. Being sensitive usually comes with fear of confrontation. Fear that I'm going to start crying, that I'm going to act a certain way, that I won't know how to respond. I don't like being yelled at. Is it going to be a yelling match? Confrontation is important. It doesn't have to be yelling. It doesn't have to be fighting. But we talked about your needs. How are you going to confront them to your significant other? Do you find yourself avoiding confrontation? That's a bad effect on your relationship because you are abstaining from saying the things that you want. You're sensitive and you don't expect people to know what you're feeling, but as I said, you are disappointed about it, but you do the work yourself. If you're disappointed, if you're sad, if you're angry, if something is going on, you're very intuitive with yourself and you just address it inside. You don't put it out there. You don't talk about it, which in the long term leaves you feeling frustrated, angry, sad, and unsatisfied. You're also not feeling like you're being understood by your partner. The last thing is one of the things I hear most often from women, and it's that I'm so vulnerable. I cry easily. I get excited so easily that I'm scared of being this way next to my partner. I don't want to start crying. He doesn't even pay attention when I cry anymore. It's just the usual thing. When you're being this afraid of your emotions, you're actually avoiding and abstaining from things, and avoidance is never the way to treat things. We need to handle them. We need to confront them. I think that one of the best qualities women have is their sensitivity. I know I'm talking in general, but women are more perceptive. They're caring, they're loving, they're attentive. But I also hear a lot about the losses, about not knowing to put yourself first as a person, knowing that you have needs. You can't cater to everyone around you without taking care of yourself. It can be frustrating being around people or around your partner where you feel like you're not being listened to. Help them understand you. Create a communication which is new. You are perceptive, you know what is going on with them, but maybe they're not as perceptive. Maybe they can't guess what you're thinking, what you're feeling. Help them, tell them, share what is going on with you. Don't give up on yourself. So what can you do with this sensitivity? The first thing is accept yourself. We are a range of emotions. We are a range of thoughts, and we feel bad, we feel good, we feel everything. All of us as human beings. Accept who you are, accept your sensitivity. It's your strongest character, and you can use it to your advantage. Second thing is get to know yourself. One of the things that happen a lot is that we try to ignore. Okay, I'm not going to be this sensitive. I don't want to cry. I don't want to feel that. But you end up hurting yourself. You end up missing out maybe something about yourself. Knowing yourself is the key for better mental health. Because once you know all the parts of you, the bad, the worst, the ugly, and the beautiful, then you can treat it. You can address it when needed. When you're avoiding it, it's going to keep crawling back and bothering you. Set boundaries. It's one of the most important things. We don't know how to set our own boundaries, especially as women. We are so for everyone, we forget about ourselves. It is loving to say, I need some space. It is loving to say, I'm sad, I need a hug, I need to talk. Set your boundaries. The way you treat yourself is the way you want to be treated by others. Start treating yourself nicely. You are not responsible for everyone's pain and needs and wants. You don't always have to be a rescuer. Help when you can, but you don't have to take the burden on you. Stand up for yourself and heal yourself. Ignoring the things that bother you in the long term hurts you physically, mentally, emotionally. So you need to heal yourself, and you're going to do that by doing two things: standing up for what you need, like setting boundaries and what you want. The last thing would be love yourself. And it doesn't mean you love everything. You didn't ask to be a certain way, but you are the way you are. Accept it and love what you love inside of you. The key for being sensitive and still maintaining a good relationship is not giving more than others. Is starting first of all with yourself. Be attentive, give to yourself, learn to ask, and then you can be as attentive, as sensitive, as giving as you want and as you wish. But first of all, it starts with you. So thank you for being here today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you something. I hope you got some kind of value out of it. Again, this is our women's group, our women's community that we're building here as the stronger gender. I'm going to be here next week on Tuesday. If you like this kind of video, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to like this video. Hit the bell button so you can get notified whenever I upload new videos. Until the next time, bye.